Hey y'all, so it's Tuesday, June 27th of 2023. You know, my third coat dried on this. It's so cold outside. It's supposed to get down to 58 tonight. I've got all the windows and doors open because I'm still getting gassed out by these fumes. And I just hope that it's going to be, worth it in the end. But I'm feeling pretty excited. I found this thing that's called an oversink drying rack that I'll be able to get one day in the future that has multiple levels that I'll be able to just stick my pots upside down after I wash them and dry them and I don't know. It'll be good. I'm trying to eventually reduce friction to cooking because I'm thinking that I might be able to do more home food sales in the future. But in any case, I have been looking around online. I haven't really done a whole lot today, by the way. It's really late. It's overcast. I'm tired, and I've just been looking online on pictures and stuff like that of Loge, the cast iron company. They had an article about how their employees store their cast iron. And it was cool because one guy had this industrial stainless grid with hooks that you could move around all how you want. And then these other folks had a wall of old barnwood that they just put nails in and it would hang up their cast iron. I was like, holy crap. I happen to have a whole lot of old barnwood and that looks amazing. So my wheels have been turning and I've decided that instead of, because shelving and things can be a big cost, and I against that, again, that well salted type of character anyways. It brings me a lot of comfort. There's something, I don't know, very nice about it. So I'm going to do my shelves over here with some of the old barnwood in my barn right now that is salvageable. I'm going to have to spray it down with borax and things like that to do mold remediation on it. But it's going to be a worthwhile adventure, and the wood is not going to cost me anything. So I have been wanting to slowly kind of bring some of that into my home anyways, because one day that barn is going to have to get demolished. So I've decided I'm going to do shelves over here with old barnwood. And then I don't know if I'm going to do it across the whole way or not, but I'm going to do barnwood flat against the wall on part of this, and then do a barnwood shelf on top of it. And I may have that run all across here, the barnwood shelf up above. And so just for the sake of some symmetry, I might also do the flat bit up here. But then the flat bit over here, I'm going to be able to hang stuff down from. And I don't know whether or not I'll do another shelf or not. But then I was thinking over here, I would just do barnwood against the wall, barnwood, 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 and have things that I can hang my cast iron on. And I'll just put that into the studs and it'll be nice and sturdy and it's gonna look great and add a lot of character. And I've been deciding on whether or not to keep some gaps, but what I'm eventually gonna be able to do when I'm ready to is I'll be able to get these pot rack type of things, or do the iron bars, like what some people do, like the iron piping, and then get hook racks for it, and even do a spice rack that is on hooks off of the barnwood. And then also my utensil holder is just bamboo, but I'll be able to just put a thing in it so that I can also just stick that up on a hook on a rod that goes across my barnwood. So I'm feeling really excited because it's a way for me to bring in some character into my kitchen and utility, and I've got a whole heck of a lot of barnwood. So it's going to be great because I really do want to bring some of that into the house before it's all just totally rotten. There was a couple of walls that I showed you. I'm about to head out there right now. But I was also thinking that, so in my lower half bath, that the drywall's not finished, nothing's finished. I eventually wanted to do that back wall in a shiplap to actually have that be wood on the back wall. But that costs money and it's just store-bought. It doesn't really have a whole lot of character. So one of the things that I've always really loved about this barn is the faded siding on it. So I've decided that, before the whole thing just collapses and things get hairy, I might just go ahead and start reclaiming some of that siding for the future and then actually, instead of doing shiplap, nailing up this siding on the back wall of my lower half bath. And it's going to just be this really faded, aged red. And I'm just got to spray some borax on it again for the mold remediation. But I showed you all my barn, my old barn, and here's my barn quote-unquote staircase ramp. Yeah, my other sandals are covered in mud, so I got just some sandals that aren't really cut out for this. But like even this like rusted rack, I can incorporate into something. So, because I can hang hooks off of that. So I don't know. I don't want to hang up my cast iron against that, but I might do something with this rack somewhere. Again, these windows at some point I gotta like put someplace safe when the barn gets a little bit too sketchy, but I do want to try to reclaim a lot of this when it does eventually have to get taken down, because it's mostly these flat boards that lay flat that are rotten. So, and this thing is all beat up and interesting, but I might be able to use those legs for something, I don't know. And then there's all sorts of stuff in here. But, I mean, there's like some old little border for a garden that they have in here. And I'm really excited, actually, that I'm going to be able to use this other stainless steel for my sink, for my outdoor sink. But, let's see. Definitely some just interesting things. And some of these things, obviously, were not like really meant to be stored outside, so they're just wrecked. And I've got like holes riding through the floor, so I have to be really careful in through here. But this wall right here, okay, I'm going to be able to go ahead and start pulling these boards out. And I mean, just look at how freaking beautiful this is. It is so beautiful. The lighting is not great. So beautiful. And then this wall over here, I'm also going to be able to start pulling these boards out. Okay, and then I've got like rusted barbed wire that they put in here from before, like an old piece of rope. Just old stuff that, like, I don't know, I might be able to do something with it someday. Obviously, I want to be careful with what I'm using rusty stuff. Oh, dang. This thing could be useful. It's just like a metal grate. But anyways, you guys, I'm like getting really close to running out of battery on this thing because I didn't have it plugged in overnight. So, my heads are just spinning. These are old supports from the basement that they took out. So anyways, there's some good stuff in here, and I need to do a little bit of a rescue operation on some of this stuff. I can't take any of these posts out yet, obviously, but at some point in the future, I would like to maybe reclaim some. Well, it looks like some of these aren't even proper posts, so it doesn't matter quite as much. But yeah, these boards here are going to be going into my house. I don't know which ones are going to be going where, but I'm going to work it out. So it's going to be a little bit difficult, and what I may have to do is at some point I'm going to try to pry these off, but at some point I may have to get a new blade. I may have to we'll see whether or not, how easily these are going to come off. But anyways, I feel super excited because this is going to be a great way to do something that I kind of had wanted to do, which is to bring in a little bit of this rusticness into my home, but without breaking the bank. So, and it's going to be my own like barn that I had that, eventually one day, like by the time I have grandbabies and stuff, like my barn may not be standing anymore. So I think it would be cool to be able to have pictures to show my grandbabies, and then, like look at how beautiful, like a lot of this stuff is all going to be able to get reclaimed. Okay, now to actually demo this thing, I got to get like a permit and everything, and I don't have money for that kind of stuff right now. But just those little walls right there, I can take out. And this thing, I was originally gonna sand this and paint it and use it as a floor in my duck house, which I may or may not still do. And then you put the straw over it, and then the water just leaks out the bottom. And I was going to use it just in the area where their watering bowl is, because ducks are crazy messy. So I might still use it as that, but I may also, I think I have another metal thing like that somewhere, so I should have another metal grate somewhere that is like newer that is one that I actually brought with me from California, so it doesn't have the same like history of the house as this thing. So I may find a way to incorporate this because, you know, I could put this up on a wall someplace where it's not really going to be getting touched, you know, so I can like leave it rusty, but someplace where it's not really going to be getting touched. And then I can hang little like picture frames even or something off of it or whatever the heck I feel like. So this thing eventually is going to come in, and again, you know, I'm feeling good and excited because I was just talking about reclaiming that barnwood just the other day when I was in here with you guys, when I was showing you guys this place. And now I just saw all that cast iron hanging off the barnwood and that little loach right up. So I'm like, yes, that is what I need. But anyways, it's all foggy and stuff. We're not supposed to get more rain. But it's just beautiful and nice, but also chilly. And yeah, I still got a lot of weeding that I got to do out here. Anyways, take it easy, y'all. I don't know if I'm going to post anything else today. Oh, before I go, before I psych you guys all out, well, I might plant some sea kale today, I don't know. But I did, and my daughter might be disappointed to hear this, but I did spend up a little bit of money today shopping because I was trying to figure out my countertop solution for my dishwasher that is coming in. And my old one had just like a laminate countertop that is like built in, and like I kind of tried to take it off of there and it didn't really work out for me. So I was thinking, well, maybe I'll get some butcher block for the just to go sit on top of that. But butcher block is heavy and is also really expensive. So I found out that there's these things called these like extra large noodle boards that people put on top of their stoves so that they can use their stove as like counter prep space, which, you know, maybe one day in the future I'll get one of those. I do want to start making my own noodles and stuff for my ramen. But all of those were only 22 inches deep, which was not quite deep enough for what I needed. And they also didn't have like any like juice type drip edge. And so I realized that what I basically needed was a giant cutting board. And so I found one that is 36 inches by 24 inches. It's called a 4XL bamboo cutting board. And it was half off right now. So I did get that. And that is going to be my countertop for that area. And then, you know, if I wanted to, I would actually be able to bring it outside with me to use as a cutting board. And it's going to be lightweight. So I'll be able to just pick it up and wash it off when I need to wash it off. Like if I'm using it for something that it gets like, you know, if it gets any like meat juice on it or anything really, I'm going to be able to wash it off. So I will probably get little, I don't know, I might get little rubber bumps or something to put underneath it. Oh, what does the Savage Josephine have over here? It's like, it didn't take her that long, but I hope she doesn't bring that critter into the house to eat. Oh, she just dropped it. This is about to get violent, you guys, so I'm just gonna cut away from that scene. But anyways, so that's basically gonna be my countertop above that area, and it's gonna be just super great, and I'm excited. So again, I think it's Tuesday, and I think it's the 27th. I forget already, but take it easy, y'all.